How's it going, everybody, and welcome to Shin Megami Tensei Link 48. I am your host, Spencer Presley, and joining me for a very hype-filled episode is Waffles.
Hi.
Can we count this into, like, our 30-plus hours we've spent together this week? Also joining me from the 30-hour live marathon is Melissa.
Hello.
And even longer joining me is Devon.
Hi.
Now, Devon, people out there, they may have seen you, known that you are the one who whoops everyone ass in Fight Club. But who are you, and how did you get here?
I am just your average, average person, I guess, that also likes Shin Megami Tensei and, like most things, that is touched by Atlas's godly fingers.
The Midas touch, as they say.
Yep.
Why does everything I touch turn to Persona 4? And I guess, so yes, if you did not watch the 30-hour live stream / our reaction stream, which went like over 20 hours of us just having our stupid faces on Google Hangout, you can watch that on the YouTube page, but there's a lot of, it's a lot less watchable if you don't watch the stream, but there are many moments of us just shooting the shit and being really bored. So some personal highlights I can remember is, let's see, we had karaoke where we sang Maze of Life, we sang Bohemian Rhapsody, we sang Barbie Girl, Waffles screamed into Ultimax for like an hour, we all cried watching a certain character not live. Let's see, all of us freaking out over Teddy keeping us waiting. Along with that, God. Ooh, trying to think. What else what else are some highlights? Said the word moist and taint a lot. Read some fan fiction. Cole did a fabulous job of that. We watched every trailer imaginable for any Persona game that came out in the last 2 years, apparently. But besides that, I mean, it just covered a lot. I'm contemplating doing a supercut of all of the best moments / reactions from that, but, I mean, obviously I have like 20 hours of footage to go through. Okay. So it may take a while, but there are some very funny parts, such as, like, my favorite, when I was going through some of it to make sure the video was okay, was during the, right when the concert was finally starting up, the lights go down, and then a brand new actual not theme song trailer for Dancing All Night happened. And all of us, in the span of 30 seconds, it starts with the song going, "Fuck, come on! I don't want this! I've been waiting for Persona." And then as soon as, like, we actually see gameplay, we're just like, "Oh, it's the best looking thing I've ever seen! It's got Naoto, it's got Yukiko, oh my god, Nanako! And that Vita!" And, like, we're like, we were the definition of waffling. So yeah, that happened. So if you want to watch that, there's lots of video of it. But yes, either way, we guys got to jump straight into news, because unlike last week where we're like, well, some stuff's happening, we got news out the posterior. I had to cut out news. I can't even think of the last time that's happened. So we're gonna do it from most tame news to, like, hype controversial news. So yes, we will announce and give the context for everything else in case you're wondering what the hell the super live thing is. But unless you're living with a hole under your living under a hole, who knows English? I've been up for a while this week. Although I do have to find it hard to believe, because did you guys see that yesterday Persona 5 was one of the top 10 most watched videos on YouTube?
Holy shit.
I
saw it was going up there, yeah. It was trending on Facebook, too.
Yeah, it was actually worldwide trending, like, all day yesterday on Twitter, too. So that's kind of crazy, which especially I find out because a new Final Fantasy 15 trailer came out the exact same, like, 24-hour period.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, got just totally demolished.
There wasn't just a trailer. There was also, like, another video that me and Dylan watched where you basically were a cat and you walked around, like, the town area as a cat.
Yeah, I just found it really funny how just the attention for it was just totally steamrolled, for lack of a better word. But I mean, good
Oh.
thing. I mean, no, I mean we all know Final Fantasy 15's it'll at least sell well and has like its thing, but it's so interesting like that after all these years, Persona just keeps like they like never seem to lose fans, no matter what they do.
And
So
they almost lost me with the whole Teddy thing. Like I was just
there are people who still love Teddy, even after that countdown. That countdown should just be like recorded all of his moments of waiting and countdowning to like see how much you love a certain character.
I need to ask a Japanese person, do you find Teddy's Japanese voice annoying?
Um,
Do any of them find it annoying?
a lot of people find it cute.
Really?
Yes,
How?
I things happen, but yes.
I don't know.
So, Persona 5, surprise, surprise, popular as always, but our first piece of news isn't even Persona related. A couple days after we recorded last week's episode, Devil Survivor 2 Record Breaker came out in Japan for the 3DS, and actually is selling really, really well, which may surprise some and may not surprise some, because Devil Survivor, when it came out on the DS, sold really well. So just to give a little bit of context, Devil Survivor came out on the DS 2009 and sold 55,000 units, or roughly around there. Also, Melissa, you're like eating your microphone.
No, I'm not.
It's like scratchy. It's like scratching against it, like you're touching.
No, I'm not.
I don't. Am I the only one hearing it? It sounds like because it's doing.
well, didn't Waffles say that she was drawing?
Waffles, draw again. Let's see if we're hearing this.
Is it that?
No, I'm not hearing anything.
I don't know.
Weird. All right, so yes, Devil Survivor sold 55,000 units. Then 2 years later, the sequel sold 63, and this is like all in their first week. So this isn't roughly. They've all sold more. But Overclocked, the remake in 2012, sold 20,000 units. So a lot lower than was expected. And so yes, now that it's been released and a week later in Japan, it was the #1 selling game, not just like for a title that just launched that week, but just overall. So it beat Zestiria sales, Far Cry sales, Yokai Watch 2 sales, and some Pokemon, just to like name the top 5. And it sold 53,000, which isn't, I mean, it's like third place overall, but in terms of, compared to the first remake, selling over double is pretty good. Especially in a time where like the handheld market's changed a lot, so it is good that it's doing well in Japan. The reviews have been very favorable to it. They've really been getting a lot of like positive stuff. All the new content apparently is really nice. And leads into the next bit of news, which is the DLC has started rolling out for it. The first week was obviously... Oh, and I'm forgetting his name. I'll pull it up in a second. But yes, they're rolling out different forms of DLC. Oh, actually, I have it right here. All my news things. So yes, they're obviously, we've said, Durarara characters are coming out to it. The first week was Izaya, and then next is going to be Shizuo, and then Celti, the Headless Rider. They're all going to be DLC characters, but the nice thing about them is they are going to be free. Not free DLC, though, is kind of similar to SMT4, is there are paid maps. There's going to be 4, at least that we know about, that are the very similar to the level up map. So one that'll focus on experience, money, grinding, or other stuff like that. Each map's 150 yen, so it's about like $1 for us, like in conversions rate. So, I mean, not too bad. Hopefully they follow SMT4 and actually like put extra bosses or something like that, so that would be kind of interesting. But at least they're actually giving us new characters, which they've never done before, for free. Because a part of me was worried, since they weren't included in the base game, they would have been like paid DLC. So, that's nice. I mean, I guess, Devon, do you care much at all if the Durarara characters are in the North American version?
I will be thoroughly upset if they are not allowed to be in the North American version.
I mean, it would only work to their advantage with the new series.
I know, right?
But I've always heard some mixed results when it comes to how nice Amniplex is.
Mm.
But yes, so now into actual Persona news, so people will be a little more excited. Persona 4 Dancing All Night, it had a lot of news revealed at the live stream, so I guess in order of what they announced, the opening theme, titled Dance, was revealed, as well as the game's release date, which is June 25th for a release date. In Japan, that is. We don't know America. Atlas USA, I gotta say, has been too quiet. Like, with all the hype, you think they would just, like, have been more like, all right, and here's the American equivalent.
I saw them, like, as we were watching the stream, or after it had just ended, I got on Facebook, and, like, they posted an Etrian Odyssey thing, and it only had, like, 30 likes and one comment.
Yeah.
I bet everybody was just, Atlas USA, what are you doing?
It's a little weird, especially because they got so much backlash. If you guys remember the 2013 live stream when they announced Dancing All Night 5, Ultimax, and Q, it took them 2 months, actually maybe 2 to 3 months, to do the American equivalent, which didn't have any new information. It was just confirming all of these things were happening. So yeah, either way, that's the release date for it. Also, there's going to be a standard edition, a premium collector's edition, and let's see what they're actually called, though. So there's the standard edition, and then there are 2 special editions. The first one is the Crazy Value Pack, which comes with the game, a 2-disc soundtrack, which is all the original songs and remixes on CD, and a DLC set that'll be exclusive to it. And the Omega box, as I'm calling it, is the premium Crazy Box. It includes everything from the collector's edition, but it'll also have a brand new Dancing All Night themed Vita. So it's a white Vita on the front. It's the Vita Slim, just in case anyone's wondering. And on the back, it has the all yellow, but then on the touchpad, it's the kind of like design, has Teddy dancing, has some stars, but it's got that orange, yellow, and kind of like lime green color scheme. I guess we can talk like I'm super sold on it. Like, just because this Persona does not, contrary to popular belief, pulling a Spencer does not mean buying anything that is something I like. I'm planning on getting this just because I really like my white Vita, but I really enjoy kind of having like that extra Persona oomph to it. Plus, when you think about it, I mean, it already will fit, like, my Persona 4 case. I really like the box. I was going to get the collection edition already, and I guess the last little bits that I can say, because I did forget, it wasn't another reason. They announced it at a later date, but for all copies, the special edition, premium edition, or the standard edition, you do get a Persona 5 Blu-ray, which is, details are a little slim. We're supposed to know more next week. Like, Famitsu's going to, like, tell us a little bit more about it. But it's going to have exclusive footage, so not just, like, all the trailers up to now. So maybe some extra surprises. There have been teases that, like, they may have, like, a dynamic theme or something. No idea what else is going to be on that Blu-ray, but would be super cool. I guess, Waffles, what do you think? As a non-Vita owner, what do you think of this Vita system?
It looks pretty cool. I don't know if I'll be able to afford it, like, anytime soon, but yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Melissa, have you seen this Vita?
Yes, I've seen the Vita.
What do you think of this beauty?
I think it's cool, but I just don't need to spend money on an extra Vita.
All right, and Devon.
I like how it looks, but the problem for me is I already have like a Vita, and not just a normal Vita. I have the white limited Vita with the golden decal on the front, and I kind of want to get it. It's mostly a money issue, and there's also the fact that right now I just don't think there's enough Vita games that I'm interested in to really bother getting another Vita.
Okay, and I mean, it makes sense. Now, just in case anyone is wondering, I don't live in Japan, so how are you going to get this? Most people automatically, I don't know, I think it's fair to say, when most people think of importing, the number one most thought of site is PlayAsia, I'm guessing, just because of like how long they've been around or whatnot.
Yeah.
Grossly overpriced at PlayAsia. It's at least $150 more expensive, and that's not including shipping. That's not including them guaranteeing you a copy. I found though this site that's actually pretty popular. I've never heard of before. It's called Nin Game. It's NIN-NIN and then game. You can look them up. They're really popular. That's where I put my pre-order in for. It was $280. So after tax, it actually evened up just about, maybe like a few dollars more expensive, but I'm not really going to judge. Shipping is really, really nice there. I mean, I got 2-day shipping for only like $20. That's like with a tracking number. So it was about $300 in total. So it helps that the yen to the dollar is really weak. So that actually helps us out. Since a Vita on its own is about $200 here, as well as this collector's edition is going for at least $100. So I'm really not paying that much more for everything. And I guess the only other little bit of nice news is that site as opposed to others. I mean, obviously, if you guys know other sites that might be cheaper, let us know, like on Twitter or on Facebook group. But one of the cool reasons I thought this site might be useful to some people is that if you live in Europe and have Amazon, they can do free, like, Amazon shipping. So if you're, like, a Prime member, you can get it, like, super, super cheap and save yourself, like, $40-$50 just from the shipping cost. Now, unfortunately, there's not that in America, but I know there are like a lot of European people who have to import stuff because God knows when they're going to get it. So just something to think about. Also, I haven't imported a game in like a really, really, really long time just because I usually am weird about it. It has to be the right kind of game / like I never want to do RPGs because like my Japanese is never going to be that good so that I could fully enjoy a game. But a rhythm game like this, I have no problem double dipping with. Just because, I mean, like, yeah, there's a story mode, but at the very least, I could just use this as a demo to just play the songs until the game comes out in America. Which I guess brings up the next two big points I want to ask you guys. I guess we can get the big one out of the way first. What are your thoughts on the collector's edition coming out in America and the system? Melissa. Waffles.
Hold on. Can you? I was distracted by Ami Ami. What was the question?
Are you checking the price on Ami Ami?
Yeah.
What's it on Ami Ami?
The crazy value pack is listed at 90, like, not 90, 9,010 yen.
Okay. And what about on for the premium crazy box?
I'm not sure that they have it.
Yeah, some places don't have it yet. That is a good point to bring up. I've only been able to find the two.
Yeah, the crazy regular edition is 6,300 yen, and the crazy value pack is 9,010.
That's actually not bad if you just want the collection edition, because that's like at least like $10 cheaper from the base retail price. So yes, Waffles. What do you think? Like, is there a chance of these ever coming out in America, like that in the system?
I don't know. I mean, maybe if Atlas sees the hype surrounding Persona 5 now, I mean, it would be hard not to notice how excited people are. So I don't know. Maybe if they see that, they'll be like, well, the market's pretty sizable potentially.
But what about the pre-order bonus? Because that's also been another one. Because like Atlas is, they do good pre-order bonuses, but they've never done anything like a Blu-ray. Like even art books and CDs combined don't really add up to the price of a Blu-ray because Blu-rays are kind of expensive.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Devon, what about you?
On the Blu-ray thing, or just like
just
everything
all
in
together?
general?
Yeah.
I I can see them doing the like the limited edition version for over here for the Dancing All Night. The system, that's kind of a hard thing to guess because if you just look at rhythm-based games only in general, we kind of get snuffed out over here on them.
Yeah, we're like finally getting attention with Miku.
Oh yeah. And even then, she was kind of hard to find if you didn't pre-order the games for her.
Yeah, although I gotta say, they must be doing really well because I mean, even the DS one's finally coming out.
Thank God.
Because like that was like what 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
Melissa, are you back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
You're fine. So when do you? I guess not when. Do you think that we will get the Blu-ray or the system or the collector's edition?
I think we'll at least get the Blu-ray, and probably not like the super mega collector's edition, but maybe like the regular collector's edition.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
My only worry with this is I want Atlas USA to bring this out really close to the Japanese release. The reason is if they don't bring that Blu-ray out soon, there will be no hype for it because like let's be honest with ourselves. It comes out in June for Japan. If we have to wait till August, like early August to play it, which is I feel like a safe bet to say when the release date, the farthest back it could be. If that Blu-ray is out for like 2 months, I mean, are we gonna not watch
Everyone's just gonna watch it online.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and then Atlas's opinion is gonna be, well, why should we make this nice Blu-ray pre-order if everyone's already watched it?
Mhm.
And like it's a nice, cool little Blu-ray. Like they showed it on the stream. It has like the Take Your Heart emblem on the front and like a really nice like red disc. And it looks super solid. I don't know. I'm just I'm hoping Atlas is able to get it together in terms for the release. I mean, obviously with Persona 5, unless a miracle or Sony backs them up or something and helps them publish it like worldwide at the same time, I don't see that being like a simultaneous release. But for Dancing, I feel like that would be a good first step to work towards simultaneous releases.
Didn't they do that for like Ultimax or Arena or something?
No.
No.
Arena is their closest they've ever done, though. So, like, for context, I guess, just working from the back couple of releases, Q came out November for us last year, June for Japan. Ultimax was September for us, August for them. So that was the closest they've ever done it. It was, like, less than a month. Before that, Golden... let's see, Golden was November for us, and then June for Japan. June or July. I may be in between those, but I knew it was summer. Arena was August, and then July for Arena in Japan. So, Arena, I think, helps because Arc System Works has a translation site in their office, so that probably helps a lot for Atlas. But, I mean, really, besides all of that, it's really just up in the air if this is going to be something like an Arena or not. I mean, I feel like if they had Dingo still working with the game, I'd be a little more, like, expectant of it. Fun fact, because I was talking about this on the stream a little bit, how Patrick from the Facebook group and Patreon had brought up that Dingo left the project, which is why it was delayed, and I just couldn't find any news anywhere. I finally found it through, like, wormholing through Wikipedia and Megaten like wikis and stuff and like forum boards. I finally found a Famitsu article like early September where they had, I guess, some disputes, and Dingo did definitely leave, which is interesting because I went back and did some like trailer analysis for older Dancing All Night footage, and I mean, I don't remember if Waffles, you were there for that, but I remember we were talking about they probably had a dispute because what's the biggest difference, Devon, from how this looks to how a Miku game looks?
They changed the HUD.
Exactly. The HUD isn't covering like the character models.
Yeah,
and
it's not in the way.
And if you look at the very first gameplay trailer, because I forgot there actually was gameplay in the very first trailer for it back last year, it shows what gameplay looked like, and it looked just like Project Diva. like character icons like being covered up in front of everything. And if you look, the new HUD is really, really stylish, and it's still a widescreen Vitasport, but what they do is on the edges left and right, there are 3 buttons on each side, so you see up, left, down, triangle, circle, X. So it's very, very like
It's like DDR, except instead of it being up at the top of the screen, it's on the sides.
Yeah, and it looks... I think I like that look a lot more than how Miku does it. Like, obviously, Project Diva's been doing it for a long time, and that's, like, their kind of thing, but that's always been my biggest complaint ever since DDR. It's like, you're showing me these awesome music videos that, like, people have made, or, like, the author did, but you're covering it up with these gigantic neon bright notes. It's like, I want to be able to watch this while playing.
Yeah, but, well, the good thing about Project Diva is you can just PV watch it instead of playing at the same time.
Which I like that, like, yeah, most games have that feature, but it's like, I like that while being able to, like, kind of, like, tap along with it. I like being productive while being amazed. So yeah, I'm guessing that's probably why the only reason I could see why Dingo left was obviously just creative differences. So hopefully, even though that caused a delay, I think we'll probably get a better overall game for it. Other interesting noticeable differences is the story screenshots that they have showed 3D character models before, and in this newest batch of screenshots they put out, the updated character models are all 2D for story dialogue. Which I kind of like. I feel like Persona with 3D character models would be like weird for story moments.
The first time I experienced 3D character models talking up on the 4 screen was Enchanted Arms, and that was not a very a lovely experience at all.
Yeah, I feel like it's weird, honestly. I think if Q didn't have its art style so down, I think I wouldn't have liked it as much. Because it was very reminiscent to that.
Yeah. But it was like it wasn't it was simplified 3D character models, so it was kind of cute that way.
Yeah, exactly. So yes, that is the Dancing All Night news. I highly recommend checking out the new trailer. The only other bit of things I guess we could talk about was they released the track list, at least 29 of them. There's apparently supposed to be more coming. They have confirmed DLC. I guess, what do you guys think of Dance? I know, Devon, you were like a little mixed about it at first, but now you've had time to sleep and think about it rationally.
It's good, yeah. I like it.
Melissa, what about you?
I think it'll be pretty good. I like the song so far, and I like the trailer where they were showing people playing it and talking about the different people that were remixing it. I thought that was really cool.
Still super amazed. Toriyama is working on it. Sorry, not Toriyama. Yamaoka is remixing a song. Blows my mind. Waffles, what about you?
I don't know if I would buy a Vita for it.
It's not really a game to buy a Vita
I mean, in terms of like just a new Persona song. Do you like Dance?
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know. I'm waiting a little bit. I don't want to give like too hype of a thing for it, but I definitely have that kind of like Maze of Life feel from it, just because it mixes like the sounds of like, well, I guess not really the sounds to be fair, because the sounds is very like funky and like kind of like 70s vibed, as you can tell by almost every character doing a staying alive pose. But yeah, I'd have to say I like it a lot. I want to wait a bit and compare it to others just because I know I'm still in the hype mode. Like, I'm so susceptible to be hyped, so I want to be a little bit realistic about it. No, I really dig it. Lotus Juice kind of remixing it. For anyone who doesn't know, it's an original song, but it's kind of like it's its own remix of the Persona 4 opening, but with Lotus Juice kind of interjecting and in more of a like the music is a lot like more funkier. There's like a lot of bass. God, the bass line in that song is so good. But yes, new song, check it out. I mean, let's be real, it'll probably be the ending song for this episode. I guess last thing, if I keep forgetting any more, I'll be just making up news at this point, but the whole investigation team has been revealed. How do we feel about their new looks?
I think they all look pretty good for the most part. I kind of wish they added a little bit more flair to Narukami than just him in his outfit with just a yellow band around his arm.
Mhm.
Waffles, what about you?
I'm alright with them.
Who is your favorite?
Probably. I don't know. Maybe I like Yosuke.
You can say Nanako. Even though enough.
They didn't do anything to Nanako.
Yeah,
She's 10% more swag now.
She should have gotten
Nanako was very cute.
She was cute, but she didn't do anything to her. Now it's sad.
That's all she needs.
She danced.
Devon, I know Naoto purist over here. How do you feel about the change?
About her redesign?
Yes.
I actually really think it fits her. I mean, I'd seen some other people just like imagine and draw up her design, and like some of them were like kind of closer to Risei's like checkered, like flary kind of girl like design, which is okay, but I'm glad they made her still look jazzy, like old jazzy classic kind of outfit.
In like her
looking.
own way though, which is nice.
Yeah.
Because people had been kind of making fun of after the Chie reveal. They were worried all of the girls were gonna have a Risei design.
Yeah.
Because it was like, okay, boobs out, checkered patterns in.
People
I'm
are
glad
still
about that.
complaining about like Naoto's chest though. I mean, come on. It's tasteful in a way. It's not like it's all out there.
I'll wait and save my anger until I see the boob physics. If the boob physics are as they
Dead
look,
or alive?
yeah, as long as they're not DOA wise, I think I'll be okay with her boobs being out. I mean, it's like
I don't know. Like I have some personal gripes, but it's just my personal gripes. Like.
I mean, let's be real, guys. If you're if you got like breasts and have a like, is it just like a restrainer or I guess what's the word for like what was used?
Like a binder?
A binder, yeah. If you have a binder, like, and it's funny because I know someone who wears those, but does dance. It's like she can't wear that in dance. It's like you are restrictive. So like it would actually be a little weird if like Naoto was dancing with the binder.
It would hurt.
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
So I mean, it's like, yeah, like you got a couple extra buttons and stuff, but like, let's be real too. It's like this wouldn't be a dancing all night game if there weren't going to be extra costumes. So we'll more than 100% likely be able to like have the original costumes too.
Yeah, I mean, Naoto's not binding in her Halloween costume. Why would she bind in her dance costume?
Yep.
Mhm.
So yeah, obviously me, still Yosuke, #1 handsome boy. Also officially #1 handsome boy, thanks to the character poll. Some people happy about that, some Chie fangirls not happy about that. Got snubbed, as they say. But yes, we are finally into talking about the Persona 5 news, the trailer released, the mother load of information. 29 hours later, we finally get a 3-minute trailer. I guess we can talk about in a bit about what we thought of the trailer and our reactions to the live stream, because obviously I know we're gonna have a lot of things to say. I want to start with since we are still in the news, did you guys hear that there was a open letter the Persona 5 team sent out?
Like kind of explaining.
Yeah,
like,
well,
basis?
yeah, just basically like, oh, we have our new trailer and blah blah blah. Like, because I was talking to somebody about this. It was like, how freaking stressful must it be to be working on this game? Like, you've got so much stuff. But either way, so yeah, I will, without further ado, I will read the letter for all of you who haven't read it. This is from the Persona 5 development team. It says, "Good evening to all of you. Persona team's Hashino here. Today we presented a video for the long-awaited game. So how did you like it? As I write this now, I've yet to find out how you guys reacted to it, so I'm honestly feeling a little nervous. Thinking about comments like, the next Persona game is about a phantom thief, lol, or is that Lupin? And such. But I'm hoping there are warm comments out there. Even if there was just a little part that you liked, it would make me really happy. For this game, we are going with a challenge that fuses together a juvenile school setting that is as large as life, together with a precarious romance. In the previous games, we wrote a story that involved having a group of justice warriors chase down a bad guy that could easily be feared by just about anyone. This time, the group is a bunch of high school students that are being quote-unquote chased by unexpected occurrences due to the justices they believed in. We're writing the story to convey a thrilling everyday life in the shoes of these characters. They are large as life in the juvenile school setting. So we, the team, are working together as we advance through development so you can enjoy it with evolved graphics, sound, along with the party members that are just a tad bit more ill-behaved than what you've been used to up until now. We all have so many feelings that are going into this title. While this is a product by Atlus that is known for its individualistic side, some say that a strong personality can break away from common rules and models, so it can be seen as a nuisance as well. However, the way However, the way we see a person's character, it can spread to the other for good or for bad, and it can even change the way another would think or behave. And that's the potential power we see in it. We may feel some sort of suffocation in the world today, but as long as the world is comprised of relationships among humans, it is a person's character or group's character that can provide power to destroy that feeling of entrapment. I'm hoping that this title will shape up into something that can embody such feelings and something that will remain in your hearts. In order to meet all of your expectations, even just a little bit, the development team staff are working hard, and so I'd like to say thank you for your continued support. I will take a peek at the comments for all of your Twitter blogs and such on. And in case you guys are wondering, that was from Katsura Hashino, the director and creative producer of the game.
Nice.
So, Waffles, what did you think?
That sounds awesome. I got goosebumps.
Like, just from, like, his, like, overall, like, hope with, like, where the game goes, or, like, how so?
Yeah, and, like, the theme. I like that theme.
I really
It resonates with me.
I love when fucking development teams like that just really open up and just bare their soul. Like, it just fucking hits me so good, because I remember when Rising became Revengeance, they released, along with the trailer, like, an hour-and-a-half documentary, and that documentary is nothing but it's nothing but Kojima saying, I let this team work on a game, they fucked up, and now we're gonna have to do it all over again for like an hour and a half. And I'm like, gee, like somebody had to make that. Like that's just a documentary about your failures. That's like if you had to write your senior paper in college and just fucked up, and then somebody's film project was to watch you and document you fucking up. It's like, that's got to just be so straight. And I mean, like, that's how, like, we feel. It's like, then take Japan as a culture and how they react to all of that. Like, what the fuck do you do? So, like, him talking about it almost being, like, suffocating, I can totally understand. But, so yes, Melissa, what about you? How do you feel about that letter?
I think it sounds really cool, honestly. And I'm excited for everything. I just want more information, like, on a regular basis, you know, not just, like, one trailer, like, one teaser, like, months ago, and then finally we get, like, a full-length trailer. That's more than a minute.
I mean, we only have to wait 4 months now until the next guaranteed trailer.
Like E3, right?
No, the Blu-ray.
Oh, that's true. But there might be something at E3, you don't know.
True. Atlas at E3 might finally have this trailer. Devon, what about you? How do you feel about that, his letter?
I always like it whenever they take the time to write down their thoughts, just in general about the production and how they think the audience will take things. It kind of gives you more information about them as a person, and it helped me decide if, like, yeah, I want to keep going with this person because, you know, he's been, like, with Atlas for, like, a long time, and I know, like, being in the same kind of rut can kind of, like, change you, like, drastically as a person with your initial thoughts becoming something twisted, and it just helps me, like, decide if I want to keep supporting them or not, you know?
Definitely. So yes, along with that, they also put out, let's see, Famitsu next week, for all you guys who don't know, I mean, we'll be covering this as well, is going to have even more information about the game, details, screenshots, presumably. But they had a little bit of his interview in this week's issue that came out after the huge reveal. And so some of the quotes from the interview, I'll just start bringing them up now. Famitsu starts out by saying, it's been a while since a follow-up on Persona 5 and asks how development is going so far. I'm trying to make sure we see who it is. This does not say who it is in the interview, so I guess it'll... I'm just going to assume that... it is Hashino still. Okay, that's why I wanted to make sure. All right, so he's saying we're just about getting an idea of finishing the parts of the elements. Finishing points as far as elements are concerned. We're putting into the game and showing and making sure its quality is all up to snuff. So right now we're in the process of really fleshing everything out. As we anticipate the release date, we are always working hard on our goal every day, and while personally thinking what is this title as well as what will make everyone happy. So please wait a little bit longer. I find that segment of the interview really, really interesting, just for the fact that, like, the game is still planning on releasing this year, but it's not done. Like, they still don't know how much content they're ready to put in the game. So, like, obviously they've done the story. Like, they know, I'd say, about 90% of what the story is, and they're just kind of fleshing out the world at this point, which is great. I mean, because you got to remember, oh, Jesus. Do either of you guys remember what year Catherine was? Was it 09, right?
No, it was
11?
like 2012, 11.
2000. All right. Oh, wait, I would have. Okay, I got it right here. It was 11. So summer of 11 for U.S. I mean, I think because they've been working on it since then. Like, they've at least had a team working on it in some way, shape, or form. Like, obviously, they're probably just trying to decide how much they really want to, like, put in sidewise, and as we'll go into when we talk about the trailer, how just crazy different the gameplay is from the looks of it. I mean, are you worried that they're not in the point of polishing, or is this where you guys were expecting them? Like, what do you think? Anyone first?
All right. I think that it feels like they aren't far along as we thought. You know, it looks like a lot of the things are put together, like the menus and most of the gameplay, but you know, they can't obviously show us like the voice acting or
So
you know,
what were you how far were you expecting them, Melissa?
like I was expecting to get maybe a fully voiced trailer or something like that, and a little bit more gameplay.
So,
you know.
interestingly enough, did you only watch the trailer? Like, did you watch the trailer as it showed in the live stream?
No, I just watched the trailer.
Okay, the voice we heard
Mhm.
there, because they had him in quote unquote invade the concert.
Right.
That was confirmed. That is the voice actor of the main protagonist.
Mhm.
So, like, I mean, they've had it voiced. I think it was very intentional. They didn't do any voices, at least from my opinion, because while that trailer isn't the entire opening cutscene,
Yeah.
they never.
Some of it could be though. You don't know.
No, like, that's my thing. Is like, when I look at how it begins and how it ends and stuff, that very clearly to me, they wanted you to just hear that song and
Mhm.
watch some gameplay, because, like, the whole point of that to me was they want you to know that this is different. And I mean, Devon, like, we were talking about this and stuff, is like, there weren't any lyrics in that song. Like, that doesn't feel like an incomplete song. That just feels like a totally different kind of tone you're going with.
Yeah.
which I think is good and stuff. Because I mean, like, while I definitely don't hate or am sick of the Persona 4 anime all night like aesthetic we've been used to, I like that it's kind of sticking with its gut of being that way. And plus, I feel like I enjoyed it. It was one of those trailers that covers so much that, like, every time I watch it, I'm just picking up new things. I'm like, okay, I just recently saw, we actually do know all the characters' names. I mean, it doesn't show, here's this character, here's this character, here's this character, but I mean, through, like, Japanese, like, logic, you can assume who most of them are outside of the protagonist. Which, I mean, we can go into later, but I don't know. Devon, were you expecting the game to be as far along now, or were you expecting it to be a little bit more?
I always wish things were a bit more than I expect it to be, but that's kind of what hype is all about, really, you know?
Okay.
I think they might have a little bit more than they're letting on, just because I think they took a lot of time in making that trailer the way it is. I think they only wanted to show so much so we could really get into it and get the feeling of the placement and the style and, like, everything that they've, like, decided to change compared to Persona 4.
Yeah,
It
definitely.
kind of seems like they could have shown a lot of this stuff sooner, though, but I have no idea, though.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, we've talked about, like, them showing off sooner and stuff before. They've never really been huge about, for their mainline series, just doing trailer dumps. I mean, good lord, we went from never thinking Final Fantasy Type 0 would ever come out to, after its announcement, 2 months pass, gameplay at TGS, and then I feel like every other week we get a Type 0 or 15 trailer at this point.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, in 15's case, it's good because it was silent for so long. But, like, I'm at the point now where I don't freak out over a 15 trailer.
Yeah, because
Like,
we know it's coming out.
I'm just like, okay, it's coming. But, like, I like when they drip feed just enough information. So, like, it's just perfectly enough, kind of giving me what I want. But let's see. So yeah, I guess I can get the next part of the interview. So Famitsu then asked, could you share a little bit more information about the theme of Persona 5? He says, these days I believe it is uncommon for people not to know where they're headed in life or various problems like that, whether they be big or small. Accepting the rules and values society deems acceptable is not a very fulfilling way to live, and yet those that lack the courage to change the status quo, even as they are held down by it. He continues to say, the negative side of modern society is a part of the backbone in this title. In the midst of this all, you have these rambunctious high school students who fight back against things that might hold them down in life. If the game can give people the courage to face everyday life or even act as a trigger for positive change, I believe we have accomplished our goal. Which, I feel if the theme of Persona 5 wasn't taking problems you deem to, like, hold you back in life, like that emancipation, like slavery kind of thing that we talked about with the teaser trailers, I feel like that's the only excuse they could have to still be in high school. Because, like, we talked about it for so long, we were like, oh my god, they gotta get out of high school, alright, good, he looks like at least like a college student, stuff like that. Although now, if you notice, no one is complaining that they're still in high school. Because now they're not just living by those standards that we've seen in the past, like, 10 years of Persona games. Yeah, they're in high school. Yeah, they still have to go to high school. But, like, they're not living their day-to-day, like, are we seeing outside of school scenes in Persona 5, are we seeing the usual stuff? No. Yeah, we see them hang out, but are they hanging out at, like, Junes? No, they're hanging out at what looks like a bar. Where are they spending their time? They're, like, preparing, like, they're, like, getting ready, they're jumping, they're, like, jewel thieving and, like, things like that, or whatever they're doing in these places. So I think like the fact that these characters are almost like superheroes in a way, like when you like use the mask and stuff as a kind of like conduit to compare them to like that, having them as these high schoolers doesn't hold back the creativity. If only it actually, I feel like the message of life holding you back and like living up to the status quo, um, would almost be less would be less effective if they weren't high school students. Does that make any sense?
Mhm.
Waffles, how do you feel about that?
I came in like about mid I sentence.
Okay, so quick sum up for you. Here, I will just send it to you in the Skype chat, or can you not read it in the Skype chat?
Can you drop it on Facebook?
Yeah, sure. Also, move your mic down. I can tell your mic's still up.
Oh shit.
I've been with you long enough at this point. I can now know where your mic is, even without looking at you. Devon, what about you? Like, how do you feel about him talking a little bit more about the theme?
About them being high schoolers and yeah. I like the theme, of course. Like anything that has to do with trying to actually find yourself has always resonated with me, and it apparently it resonates with a lot of people, of course, because there's just so many different things that are screwing things up for us that we don't know what to do because we want to think we're doing the right thing because either via our parents or like the people we hang out with. And then there's also other forces aside from those that are keeping us from doing those things, either because it's the law or the law that is in place is not correct and doesn't work for us. So we have to find some other kind of outlet to make what we want to do actually happen.
Yeah, and I mean, I've talked to you guys a bunch about one of the reasons I like Persona 4 more than 3 is because it has characters who deal with that. Like, obviously, not all the characters dealt with like worrying about like status quo, but like Kanji, like that was like one of my favorite moments because like of him having to like deal with how the world is making him live his life, and obviously it wasn't the whole point of the story, but it was one of the highlights, at least for me. And like imagining now that we have a game where every character has to deal with that. Every character is like, no, I want to live my life the way I deem it, and where I live or what the world deems acceptable for me shouldn't be what I have to do.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy because when you think about it, like even before we just saw this trailer, we were like, is this going to be like are they going to be like in a different part of the world? Is this going to be like we were expecting huge changes with the whole slavery theme, but the fact that it's still in a very familiar setting and just like but with such a different focus, it's weird how much it changes without actually changing that much that we're used to.
Mm.
Melissa, what about you? How do you feel about that?
Well, it seems like they can't really go away from that whole like high school setting because it seems to be very popular, and that's where most of the age group of the people who will be buying the game is. So in a way I feel like they're trying to relate to people who buy the game, kind of. But I think it's cool that they're kind of putting a different spin on it and saying like, oh, they're not just high school students, they're crime fighters, or they're like, thieves. It's not just they're high school students in an investigation team, or like they have their own secret club or something like that. Like they're at least doing something more original.
Is there another place that you would rather have them the setting?
Like not just high school?
Well, just in general, because you seemed like you were upset that it was at least that like you weren't super pleased with the setting.
No, I think it's cool. I mean, as long as it's not like school all the time, I think it would be cool if like you didn't have to do that whole school thing,
Actually
again.
skipping, like
Yeah.
not attending classes. Yeah.
Yeah, because we've just done that 2 times already, I mean, it could be great if we had a little bit of change.
I mean, we've already confirmed sleeping in class is allowed, so
Great.
so we can just pass it.
We already get chalk thrown at us, so it's a good idea.
Now, Waffles, were you able to read the quote?
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, it's again, it's definitely the overarching theme that he's describing is something that resonates very strongly with me too. And it's always good to, like, I don't know, like, if you're not in a position to move society yourself, just because of all the various layers of bullshit, you know, that hold you down. Like, I mean, at least maybe it's trite. Well, it's very trite, but you at least have a game to, like, sort of have that fantasy of making a difference.
Yeah. And you know one of the funniest things I actually found about that trailer is one of the things everyone wanted to see really bad. Like, there were a couple of sites that had, like, polls and were like, oh, what are one of the things you're hoping to see in the trailer that wasn't in it at all, and I've seen no one complain about, is there were 0 personas. Like, there were 0 actual you just getting to see a persona. The first time we, like, see a full body persona was in that key visual art, which I find cool, because it's like, yeah, the game is called Persona, and it's not about personas. Like, no, that's not the thing, though. It's like, if anything, I think Persona 5 is going to be more about personas than any other game, with, like, the whole you becoming the persona from, like, what the trailer teased. But so yes, let's see. We have one last quote Famitsu teased. It said they were asking for more details behind the heroes and the Phantom Thief appearance that they've adopted. Gesundheit? Or was that a yawn?
No, it was just me being upset with something.
Okay. So yes, they said, what if we had a classic Phantom Thief like Arze Lupin today? How would he charm people and change society? That is one of the questions that the development team began with. There are numerous novels, movies that depict the life of Phantom Thieves, but in order to feel experience of personally creating a sensation in the world as a Phantom Thief, I believe that you can only do that through games. And only through this game by having the players emphasize what these characters is the most important part of the title. And right now we're focusing all of our efforts on that. Waffles, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, it sounds good to me.
Waffles, you're supposed to have that controversial opinion I'm looking for. Like, God, why do they have to have masks? Need bandanas.
Oh.
That is an adorable ringtone.
That's not my ringtone. That's... Oh my God, stop.
Devon, what about you? How do you feel about it?
About them trying to portray the Phantom Thief thing.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm wondering is, since it sounds like they're trying to, like, I don't know if they're going to try and do their own kind of, like, tweaked spin on, like, the stereotypical Phantom Thief or something, but if they're going to do something like that, does that mean they're going to give a little bit of their own expected personality to the main protag, or if they're still just going to do the Gennaro, have the player do most of the response, or if they're going to do a mashup of that, or what?
Hopefully they take note of what the animation has done in terms of how they develop their characters canonically, while still, like, one of the things, I'm not a huge BioWare fan, they've always been able to nail, I make this character, that doesn't mean they can't talk for me.
Yeah, well, I'm quite a BioWare fan. I watched my dad play Baldur's Gate and all that stuff, but...
So, yeah, I mean, that'll be very interesting. I do say, bold as hell claim saying that games are the only medium where this can be done personally.
That's quite, yeah.
Although, when you think about it, like, no other game's been like, you're gonna be a Phantom Thief. Like, not even fucking Loop on the Third's video game had you do that.
Okay, now that I understand the question, sorry, I've got, like, a personal thing going on.
No, you're good. Do you need to go?
No, it's cool.
Okay.
But yeah, the whole Phantom Thief thing, I love it. I think it's cool looking. I don't know. I just totally dig the whole aesthetic.
Also, holy balls! Like I just was talking about rewatching trailers and discovering things awesome. You guys, I just noticed that the character art portraits for showing health and SP. Like, have you guys noticed something about them? They're all like prison cards that they're holding up, like it's their like pictures. That's oh my god, this game is so much fucking attention to detail, it hurts.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yes, that was the end of the interview. I'm so excited to like hear the rest of it and stuff for it. But I guess before we kind of go into specifics of the trailer and stuff, I mean, I guess we can kind of work it through like one by one in terms of like what we like thought. Also for starters, like, have you guys looked at like the translations and stuff through everything? Okay, so you're in luck. I'm here. There's not really that much that needs to be translated. The beginning text, there are 2 lines. One is, let's see, the very first line where like shows him wearing the mask and like the chopper and stuff coming out. It says, "What awaits is glory or ruin," which I thought was very interesting. It's like kind of one of those themes of like what like more modern like caper films have these days of like, well, yeah, you can live this really like stylish life of like being a thief, but you'll more than likely like crash and burn eventually.
Oh, I want the crash.
Which will be awesome, especially if we can like really, while like yes, Persona has had multiple endings before, there's basically either just like the good or bad one. If they can make one element from Catherine, if they can take how that game handled its multiple endings, like this game would be amazing just for that. So yes, let's see.
Like a full complete game with the bad ending possible. Like with Persona 4, the really bad ending, you weren't at the end of the lakes. Well, I mean, I guess it makes sense, but
no, yeah, I know what you mean. Like it was kind of restricting, as like kind of like how like Heavy Rain or Beyond Two Souls does its multiple endings. It's like, yeah, it's multiple endings, but it's never an earlier game over. Like absolutely everybody could die, and you'll still play that game as long as somebody who like kept everyone alive, which is interesting. The next bit of actual translation that might be interesting for you guys is the menus. Well, it showed everything for the main menu in English. When it showed the command, which was basically just like your equipment and stuff, nobody noticed it had the name of the school for his outfit, as well as the fact that it had 4 names. So, in case anyone cares at all, his high school is called Shujin Gakun High School. And the name of the characters are protagonist, Ryuji Sakamoto, Morgana, and Anna Takamichi. And we don't know the order, but in terms of like how it's really set up, obviously protagonist is the playable character. Ryuji, obviously a very male-dominated name. Doesn't mean that it has to be, but I feel like I doubt the game's gonna be messing with it that much, and no one's really disputed it. And since the only one-word name is Morgana, it's a pretty safe bet that that's the cat, who is more than likely now the new mascot character. And I just gotta say, as a big cat fan, I approve. Love cats. Now I can start getting cats and bringing them to cons and start cosplaying my cat as Morgana, just a giant Persona outfit. And I guess actually a funny thing is some people were talking on the Facebook group about, they were kind of arguing a little bit about how we didn't see Personas, not that it was a bad thing, but some people thought that Morgana, her outfit when she's normal cat and then not normal cat was her Persona. And I was like, yeah, I can see how you're saying that, but I have one explanation as to why not. What's one thing that everybody wears like in battle this game.
Well,
Yeah.
costumes. Well, another thing I noticed is during the battle sequence, the cat is using a slingshot. And if it's true that they have to transform, like Digital Devil Saga, they can't use their, guns, weapon slot while they're transformed.
Although while you guys said costumes, that is somewhat correct. The big thing is they are never seen in their costumes without a mask.
Mm-hmm.
And like even the cat has a mask. So like it's like I kind of like to think like this is their like alter ego. Their alter ego and their powers like are all tied to these masks and stuff now, which obviously would make a lot of sense because like it's this game's equivalent of an evoker or the glasses is to have these masks on. And a big part of that as well is because none of the game we've seen is not in the real world. Like everything looks very grounded. There doesn't seem to be a midnight hour or like an equivalent of some alternate dimension. While yes, this mansion we see gameplay of is very like over the top. There's nothing about it that says this can't exist in the real world. Whereas like obviously the midnight hour had a tint to it that you could really tell time was frozen, and the shadow world had the vibrant lines everywhere, blood spewing, all that kind of stuff like that. So I know, like, do you guys, how would you guys feel about the game being in the real world?
I love it. I want it.
And I guess actually as well, Devon, you brought up probably one of the biggest news is for the battle system that you use a gun. Well, not that you can use a gun, that is an option of attack. Which,
It's a slot.
Exactly, it's its own thing. So anyone who's ever played Shin Megami Tensei or like the original Personas and stuff, you know that it goes like guns are very pivotal to that. So that is super super cool that they're bringing that back. We don't know anything about Arcanas, but we do know that Arcanas are going to be in the game. Because if you look at the shops when selecting a character, at least for the
protag.
for the like protagonist stuff at the weapon shop, it flips a dog tag around. So like on the front of a dog tag it says his name and then Joker the Fool. So that's what we know about that, as well as like some like hints of like Arcana designs and whatnot going on there. So that stuff I thought was pretty cool. I guess actually we can hit it with the first big one if we're gonna start hitting this trailer. Like it doesn't really matter in order. But let's just kind of start off. I've talked a lot about how much I'm digging it. Waffles, overall thought now. It's been over 24 hours. Give us a minute summary of your thoughts on the trailer.
Again, I love the aesthetic. I'm a fan of red, black, white, and gray as a color combo. Oh my freaking god!
It's Atlas calling you.
No. But anyway, yeah, I dig the color scheme. I dig the, I don't know. Like, it's such a cohesive look. From a design perspective, I just freaking love it. And, let's see, what else? I don't know if it's going to be like a thing, but it looks like they're gonna have demons as the primary thing that you're fighting, because they showed Sandman and Pyrojack, and I'm like so excited because I'm fucking sick of Hulk Hogan. I'm sick of fighting tables. Get him the fuck out of there.
And there was just to actually clear. Did you see like people were like, but wait, shadows are still in it, because like in the overworld,
the night's crawling around.
The night's crawling. I think it's fair to say that like just because they have a mask on doesn't mean they can't be demons, especially with such a huge focus on mask in this game.
Yeah, and then of course I was going nuts over the last bit where it looks as though he's transforming into its persona, which is something that I personally just love. Like, that's one of my favorite things about Digital Devil Saga. Like, that's what got me to play it, essentially. I was like...
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? What else? I don't know. It just looks really fucking cool.
And I have one quick question for you, because you're the only one here who hasn't played it. Does this game's visuals make you a little bit more interested to play Catherine?
It does, but Catherine looks like an incredibly stressful game because I don't do well with.
It is.
I don't do well
It's
with
very
change
stressful.
at all. Like that. I mean, I don't know, man. That's like, I don't know. I would just be like a bundle of panic the entire time.
Even the game on the easiest difficulty still is rage-worthy.
Well, I mean, not rage. It wouldn't be rage. It would just be fear.
That too.
But yeah, like with freaking Dante.
So, Melissa, what about you? Give us overall thoughts on the trailer. Anything that popped out, good or bad?
I really liked all the character designs. The colors are really cool. I was talking how I said that they shouldn't just have all the same, like, character, like, traits that they've been overusing over and over again. I mean, I know it's not positive and everything like that, but I just feel like they have had, like, the tough character that is misunderstood, like Shinji and Kanji, and then they have like a kid character. I don't know, you get what I mean. Like, and then they have like a dude bro sidekick like Yosuke and Junpei. I don't know, and then they have a girl who can't really cook. I mean, it's fine. It's just having it again, it just kind of seems like we need, like, newer characters with, like, different traits, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Devon, what about you?
I'm not really a picky person. Just letting you know. So I didn't really have any.
Except on live
negative...
streams and countdowns.
Okay, Teddy can ruin my mood enough to be very hypercritical and like, yeah, stuff like that. But just in general, I'm not really. I can kind of go with the flow for the most part. So there wasn't anything that really stuck out and hit a negative nerve with me when I saw the trailer. It did remind me of a lot of different things, like, you know, Sailor Moon, Sly Cooper, all that other stuff. And I'm fine with that. It's not a bad thing, because to me, like, you know, imitation is like a really good form of flattery, and if Atlas knows how to pick out the good parts of imitating things and put it together, that's like the best pot of stew I could ever taste.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very true.
And there's an expression also that is there is nothing new under the sun, like in terms of what humanity's done. Like,
yeah, if you thought of it, somebody else already tried doing it too. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do agree, Melissa, with what you said though. Like right in a row. I'm hoping that the characters don't have those particular traits, especially that you mentioned. Hopefully,
right.
You know. Hopefully
they mix it up a little bit, and it'll be a little bit more original.
I think Atlas is super aware of that. I mean, why else would they? I mean, honestly, I feel like at this point, I think like this has been their plan, how to reveal the game all along, because they've been very timid with all they have ever shown us before, and they haven't like shown us any official character out of up until now. Now they're like showing us a ton, and it's like, well, because all they showed us was his like alter ego / probably what he looks like before he starts getting into the game. And like now that we know we get to play as a character, like even without our decisions affecting him at all, is basically the opposite of what we've been used to over these past couple of years in terms of a protagonist play. That's great, because even though like we are that character, the fact that he is like he has options to be very like devilish or like not just the perfect, like, because, like, there would be moments in Persona, like, where it'd be like, you pick, like, an asshole answer. It's like, your food sucks. Oh, you're just a kidder. Whereas, like, no, it's like, I feel like in this game, it's like, if, like, one of your friends are talking to you and stuff about this, like, and have a hard time, you will have an option, like Catherine handled this amazingly. You could do nice general replies, a neutral reply, or just be a complete monster, and that would affect how people, like, view you. Like, you wouldn't just still be the same protagonist, like, later on. It's like, no, it's like you can lose friends, and, like, if that, like, actually matters, that would be amazing. And, like, that's life. Like, you can say things that will just ruin people's opinion of you, and if you want that, this game looks like it'll give it to you. And I mean, it's nice because it has a character who, like, it's very, like, if you look at the protagonist's design, he's so perfect for any direction you want to take him in. He can be that neutral, timid guy who just doesn't really matter that much about anything. He can be a total asshole who, like, is devilish and, like, cocky in battle, or he can just be like that genuine, nice protagonist leader. At least that's what I think from looking at it. So yes, that is some of our thoughts about general things. Now, some talking points I want to talk about, guys. First big one is Velvet Room. Obviously, I've said I'm calling it. The Velvet Room is a prison. I mean, if you look at it, there's only one shot in the trailer, but it shows him with the Velvet Room colors in a jumpsuit, like he's in a very obvious prison. And in the trailer, it even shows Igor. Well, first off, obviously, Igor is back. Everyone was very worried he was going to die. And the two newest Velvet Room attendants, who are a young boy and a young girl from the looks of it. They could both be girls, but I think it's a safe bet to say one's a boy, one's a girl. Now, since they're twins, it's a little harder to tell, but there are slight differences with them. The girl has a much sharper face, and the boy has a much, like, rounder figure to, like, his chin and things like that. Obviously, he has short hair. The girl on the left has a ponytail. Although I must say, if they actually have it swapped the other way around, the one with the ponytail is the boy and the one without is a girl, I would super dig that.
I was thinking that.
I really hope that they kind of that they go with, like, the twin aesthetic, that, like, that they're twins, but, like, they kind of, like, they're always with each other. Because if you look, they have kind of a creepy robotic movement when you just see them, like, lifting their leg up and, like, spinning around at you, even though it's, like, for a second and stuff. And it's like, well, every time you've ever been introduced to a character, Marie, Theo, Margaret, or Elizabeth, it's just like lifts head up, smiles. It's like, no, these are like they almost look like wind up toys, and I really dig that. Obviously, it's great. Igor still knows and that creepy looking motherfucker guy. But, like, I guess what do you guys think? Do you guys think it'll be in a prison? Do you think this is maybe something else? What are you hoping they do different with the Velvet Room's aesthetics overall?
Me and Dylan were actually talking about this on the drive back home from the stream. I honestly don't think there is no evidence that it's not, like, going to be like a jail Velvet Room. But we were talking in the scene where he's behind bars. It made us think, did he even sign a contract for the Velvet Room, or did they just, like, throw him in? Like, he doesn't look like he wants to be there.
Well, like, with it being such a different world, who knows? I mean, you don't always have to sign a contract. Maybe it's changed. I mean, maybe he committed a crime with his persona and his powers, because, like, it is possible for you to awaken to these powers without having, like, especially if we're going back to demons, without having to sign a contract.
God.
So, like, maybe he acquires these powers, and after their first mission, like, Igor, for lack of a better word, arrests you and is like, all right, if you want to use these powers or, like, start fusing personas, you have to, like, start, like, serving your time and, like, doing these, like, jobs that I have for you. Like,
dude, that would be so cool. Like, if you're, like, bound in some other way to it.
Oh my
like,
god,
or
I'm now
else
I'm now
horrible
just
shit's
I'm now
gonna
just
happen.
imagining Persona mixed with Freedom Wars logics. That would be amazing. Like he's like, oh, you
Yep.
unadjustably summoned your Persona against a demon unfairly, so 10 more years in prison.
It's like you weren't supposed to have a persona, so we're just gonna punish you. And like maybe someday you'll like be able to have a persona fairly.
That would be very, very cool, especially just so much potential for everything.
Well, maybe like there's like a possibility like maybe he stole it from somebody. You know, I don't know.
That'd be a little hard unless like soul swapping was more of a thing, just because like while you can kill a persona and a demon, it's much more like, I don't know.
Well, you don't know. It could be a different universe altogether. Because this kind of doesn't really seem like it's the same universe as Persona 3 or 4.
Oh no,
which
and they're
like a lot.
Yeah, and they're very distinctly like having said like they wanted to like push themselves out of their comfort zone and make this clearly something new. Because I mean, after the stream when we were talking, we were all like no one has any form of a doubt anymore that this is something that like might still be, because like some people were worried, because if you looked at the Night of the Phantom concert trailer or like little poster, it was like it showed like the Persona 3, 4, and 5 protagonists, and you're like, well, that's cool you're showing them, but does this mean like they're all still going to be the same formula? Which I think is actually nice that they saved it for the end. And they didn't just save it for the end, like they saved it until like there was a nice moment on stage after the encore with everybody like being introduced, thanking you all for coming, and then the composer of the series had a nice talk with like Lotus Juice and the vocalist from like all the vocalists from 3 and 4, and he was just thanking them for all their work with the series and how it's been so nice working with them, and he wanted to thank the fans for basically the beginning of the end of this era of games. And like Persona 4 Dancing All Night is clearly going to be the end of that era. And they haven't said anything. Obviously, we don't know that they're not going to be in the game in some way, shape, or form musically involved. But I think it's a safe bet to say that concert was their kind of love letter to the series and just saying, okay, we're done moving on with the series. We're obviously like, they're not going to go anywhere. They're clearly going to do more concerts and everything for it before. They're not just going to forget about these series, but they want to make it very clear that they're not like doing anything. I feel like if Persona 5 got announced like halfway through a Lotus Juice song, okay, yeah, it's probably fair that he's going to be in it or something. It was like, no one was on stage except the composer, like when everything was done. So I don't know. Do any of you guys expect any of the returning vocalists to be coming back?
I don't know.
I
think that there should be new people, honestly.
Yeah.
Which I mean,
Oh,
sorry, what?
Sorry.
No, you go.
I thought LJ said that he probably wasn't really going to be as involved with the new stuff as he was for 3 and 4.
Yeah, because in the translated notes from like the Stalker Club, he was talking about like he's really excited to see what they do. Obviously, like they've been working on the music forever. Like Shoji's just been almost done with the soundtrack, but like he's not like done any like collaborations with them at all. He's basically just been kind of just as a friend been paying attention to it and really liking it. And which was nice, because when they were talking about how the opening doesn't have any lyrics, like, yeah, it's different, but that's what makes it so interesting. I guess along with that, some other cool things to bring up is we were talking about this in the actual gameplay. If you notice, there are like almost manga-like sound effect bubbles that pop up, which I super aesthetically dig. I love that in games so much. Like one of the games I played recently that did that really well is JoJo's All-Star Battle. I love how even just every character's like walking step has its own little thing that'll pop up for it. What do you guys think? Do you guys enjoy that kind of interesting design change? Because I mean, I'm pretty sure Catherine did not have that at all. 99% sure.
Catherine didn't.
Okay, good. My memories were correct. But yes, do you guys enjoy this change to anime for you? Fits the world? What do you think, Waffles?
I actually cannot remember specifically what you're referring to.
So,
Yeah,
as an
same.
example, on the on the train, there is a like little noise bubble that'll pop up for like rattle, 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 and then when everyone like bumps into him because the break's about to happen, you see like bam, like the equivalent of a bam sound effect pop up.
Oh, right. Yeah, that works for me.
Okay.
Mhm.
Trying to think if there are other ones. I guess this is a quick one that may be a bit of a given, but the menus are now very dynamic, not just like what we've had before, just like playing, here's this menu screen, here's that menu screen. And like it starts with the main protagonist having his hand up to the screen and like moving it. So it'll be like, okay, so you're going to the command menu, for example. He pulls out his gun. And like different things like that. Or like at shops. We were talking about this earlier, but like it'll show the 3D model, but then immediately transitions it into his drawing. Like how do you guys feel about the aesthetics they're kind of using for the menus, which are very very similar to how Catherine had menus.
Gorgeous. It looks
Gorgeous.
so good.
Looks too good. Should be more suspicious. Trying to think of other. Oh, how am I forgetting this? Brand new art style and animations just in general for All Out Attack. What do you guys think of that?
Looks beautiful.
That was one of my favorite things, like showing, like when they showed how like the All Out Attacks looked, and I enjoyed how it was a different art style, but it was really great. Like somebody compared it, I think it was to like similar to Gurren Lagann. Because like if you look like the blonde-haired character has like almost like devil teeth and stuff. The cat has like these really big like gleaming eyes. The protagonist has like this very dark like evilish look on his face with like his red gloves really popping out, and the girl is like sticking her tongue out and being like very cheeky and stuff. But it's these same characters, but the art style is very different, which I kind of enjoy. And people were talking about, since obviously outfits are still in the game, how it would be really, really cool if, depending on the outfits you were wearing in battle, that actually changed your artistic look for All Out Attacks. Which would be so awesome, because like just imagine like, okay, this time there's the Power Rangers one, so now you have a Power Ranger themed All Out Attack. Which would be amazing, because like now obviously if they did that again, I doubt they would because they did it with Persona 4, but like basically them building the Megazord as an all-out attack. But like just different really, really... Because like when you look at the game, I don't know a good way to talk about this, but they showed many of the gameplay segments where when a character is talking or like has something happen, it kind of rips the screen and it shows their like character art in 2D. And like when you compare those arts they showed, the only ones they've actually done it with, let's see. Yeah, the only ones they've done it with were for Anne and Ryuji. But I don't know. I enjoy that. It seems like it's doing everything in its power to stay an SMT game while being its own vibe, you know. I guess really there are 2 points. This one's not going to be as big. The last one, obviously, I'm expecting us to talk about for quite a bit. How do we feel about the outfits? Obviously, we get the best look at the cat, the protagonist, and Anne, but there is one shot in the game during the all-out attack, if you look, that actually shows Ryuji's, he kind of has like more of a pointy-nosed mask, almost like a Joker, and he's using like a lead pipe. So I guess like what do you guys think of the basically superhero like designs, or like do you agree that because like to me they look just straight out like they're trying to be like superheroes? Devon, what how do you feel about the outfits?
For the most part, I like them. I do think they are trying I think they are trying a little bit hard to do superhero costumes, especially with the cat leather whip cat mask.
Basically Catwoman. She looks like Halle Berry's Catwoman, but in red. Yeah. Waffles, what about you?
I don't know. I thought thought it looked cool. I don't know, I keep saying that, but I'm just so enthralled with the whole look, like, of everything.
You're just like still in like the honeymoon period.
Yeah.
Melissa, what about you? How do you feel about the costumes?
I think they're pretty cool. I mean, obviously, it seems like we might have like different costumes. You know, like it's been a custom in both Persona 3 and 4 where, you know, we just get their normal costumes and like beach costumes or I don't know, something like that. But they're cool.
Okay, and
There's
I'm
possibilities of
now
new
getting I slowed down the trailer and I'm looking because if you guys don't know, the all-out attack is actually basically just them just unloading all of their ammunition and the demons, which looks fucking super tight. We don't know Anne's weapon, but obviously Dev brought up the cat uses a gigantic slingshot, looks adorable. Protagonist just uses a basic, looks like 9mm gun. And going back to Ryuji's outfit, it just looks straight out of Mad Max, but with a red scarf that looks like Mako's from Korra, which looks awesome as hell. So he's got like the black jeans, the leather jacket. He's using a shotgun, and the best part is I'm getting a good look at his mask, and his mask is basically just a skull mask, which looks super awesome. So we can basically just confirm that he's going to have the Death Arcana. But no, yeah, like it's kind of weird though. Like now that I'm like, it's like we've had guns in so many games, but it's never been like a thing, you know? It's always just been like it's still an attack. Like while having guns are cool, it's never been like something you're used to seeing. Yeah, I'm just looking at him. Yeah, he has like ammo hanging off him. He has if people thought Yu's collar was big, yeah, this guy's new collar is going to be even bigger. And also, I just realized another fun fact as I'm slowing down through the trailer. Depending on what character is attacking, they all like transition. So it's like they're passing the sign of like I'm active or like this person's active. Oh my god, being a part of this game has just got to be the worst thing ever. But best is for obvious reasons. Worst for the fact that man, if you fuck up. Last little bit of weapons. Obviously, the main protagonist used a sword of some sort. Lead pipe for Ryuji. Cat uses a giant, like almost Aladdin like. What are those swords called? Like shimmers or it's like SC and shimmers.
Scimitar.
Scimitar, yes. The cat has a giant scimitar, which is nice. And Catwoman, otherwise Anne Hathaway. I mean, her name's already Anne, so the Catwoman references are already there. She has a whip for obvious reasons. So yeah, I super dig it. But for the last thing, and I mean we've been saving the best for last, is that they turn into personas, which leads to so many discussion points. Waffles, you were talking about how you were excited about it. Do you want to like cover a little bit more, like what makes you so excited? Obviously, there's that Digital Devil Saga comparison, but like what else gets you excited about demons and personas actually invading your body, or vice versa?
I just think it's cool. I think it's kind of hot. To like
New fan art.
To lose yourself to just being like, you know, like crazy and bestial and violent and horrible potentially.
You should really check out this gameplay series called Devil May Cry, where there's literally a mode that does that exact same thing.
It has nothing to do with just stupid Dante.
For real,
I mean, it does, but like
This is basically their Devil Trigger if you think about it.
Just because you had a bad experience with Dante doesn't mean that the games would be bad, you know?
I don't think that they're bad. I just think that I don't want to play as Dante.
I was so ready for you to be like, I don't think they're bad. I just think that everyone should know they're bad. Waffles is very happy that Capcom has been ignoring Dante for the past 3 years. Well, let's see. Dev, how do you feel about the what were we calling them? The personas.
Um, I like the fact that they might be making it a transformation thing, because then you don't have to completely rely on the whole exploit the weakness part for battles anymore.
Yes.
Because they look like they could hold their own very well, even just using the guns. And I played DDS, and whenever I was not transformed, it was the battles were kind of like rough to get through. So if they can tweak that a little bit and make it a bit easier to get through battles without having to transform, that's great. But I feel like they're not. I feel like there might be a catch with having to transform, because if you notice, his eyes are yellow before he transforms, and his eyes aren't initially yellow, they're red.
Yeah.
And what's with the specific mask of blood where it looks like he bled out from his eyes because it's streaking from his eyelids?
Yeah, like there's like so it's weird like how little they've like shown of Persona as well. Like obviously they've done it. And another thing as well is like, well, more than likely they're going to be able to turn into personas, yes. But another thing you have to bring up is like, are they turning into personas, or are they making a sort of human hybrid persona? Because if you look at the character art one, it looks like it has very many attributes to what the protagonist is wearing. So like, I mean, from a design ass point, this would murder someone, but it would be great instead of just transforming into a persona, they really do become one and have some sort of humanized like hybrid version. Depending on like, obviously we don't even know how sub personas are going to work. Like, there's nothing saying this guy has to be a wild card. Would you guys be disappointed if he's not? Do you want it handled? Do you guys maybe want it handled like how Hugh does it, where you have one persona for everybody, but then you can switch to others?
I would, if it's not a big issue about not being a wild card. I would definitely miss not being able to fuse. Like, I would be very sad I wouldn't be able to fuse my Bishonen Kukulon, but it's not a deal breaker, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
What I was thinking was, what if they have their one persona, like you were saying, and demon negotiation is back, and you recruit demons as your sub persona kind of thing.
Social links with personas.
And you, well, like in the olden days. Oh my God! Stop calling.
You know there is a way to turn phones off, right?
Yeah, I just keep not doing. But but yeah, like I don't know, like in the olden days of whatever. Like in Nocturne, you can fuse the demons that you recruit.
Yeah.
Into new demons.
Well, I mean, that actually would make sense, because I guess you do bring up a good point with social links. We haven't seen social links in the menus anywhere for the main menu. No one's talked about it at all. It didn't show off anything like that. And we think we have found its alternative. Maybe it's like a different name, which it would actually make perfect sense with what you're saying, Waffles, because we think cooperation is going to be the new thing, which would make like a great... I mean, I know I've been joking about this a lot, but what Criminal Girls does, like, okay, you recruited this party member, but like just because you've like enslaved him to work with you doesn't mean he's going to. So like maybe if you don't like, maybe if you're not cooperative with your persona, you'll have a harder time using it. But maybe he's really powerful. So like making social links much more than we're buddies now, like a more dynamic evolution of cooperation, where it's like, okay, all your friends are going to work really well with you because you've been friends for years, presumably, or you've met recently and have close bonds like that. But why is your persona going to? Your persona is a living thing. Stuff like that. That's my whole thing. I'm hoping to see with personas is like it matter, as opposed to we got to a point, in my opinion, where social links were cool, but they were basically glorified buffs and debuffs.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, he's level 5. Give him the helping ability now. It's like, no. It's like when you're friends with somebody, they will do more for you. Which is like, yeah, they covered it in some ways with like being able to like save you from a like deadly attack or stuff like that. But like make it more a little realistic, especially like if we can't get demon negotiations in here, have an alternative for it where it's like, well, give them a reason for these demons you've just like kidnapped to want to work with you.
Like how they transform and stuff like that.
Yeah, just overall, what are your thoughts and hopes and dreams and aspirations in life?
I mean, I feel like it'd be cool to transform into like your main persona, but then maybe transform into other personas too. But like if not, like you'd still be transformed into your like main persona, but then like if you like contract a demon, like it would like stand in front of you or something like that, and like you would maybe be able to switch between the two, I guess, you know, and
Yeah.
it would like help you out.
Okay. Oh, here we go. I guess I should actually make a cutoff. So yes, now that we've done all of that lovely good stuff, we can get into the meat of potatoes and everything. Hold on, let me ending submissions, please. As I misspell submissions, so it looks like sub-muttons. Nope, not substitutions either. Thanks, autocorrect. There we go. That's English. Okay, so we are going to do it a little bit of out of order, but get the community feedback from what they thought of Dancing All Night's info and Persona 5. Just in order of people who commented them. Jordan Alves says, I think my favorite, aside from, I don't know, everything, was seeing Igor's glorious return along with the new Velvet Twins. I think he's just saying that because they kind of look like Alice, except with not blonde hair. Sean says, my favorite part of the Persona 5 trailer, start to finish, but seriously, Shoji and Meguro, Persona 4 Dan, Persona 5 extra points, extra print bonus DVD, I guess. Keith says, seeing Koromaru / Teddy 2.0. Fricking love cats, fan art inbound, which, yeah, I don't think I've ever seen fan art just explode as quickly as it did after that trailer.
Seriously.
Definitely makes me feel a lot less likely to start drawing it. Waffles, have you drawn any P5 fan art yet?
No, I'm drawing
Show.
another show.
Same old show.
Yeah.
You could do a show crossover. Like the show with, like, new Bang's protagonist of 5.
No.
No.
No crossover. Do not cross the streams. Louis / Bob says, I loved the scene where they are sliding along the highway. Their beauty, their grace. They'll shoot it in your face. I need to like that. I'm surprised I didn't. Cody Griffin says, demons returning as enemies. Also, Ryoji looking like a boss and ballerina mistress. Cole, otherwise known as fanfic announcer extraordinaire, says Persona 5 getting an idea of. It's a nice long one. Getting an idea of what the Velvet Room looks like. Cat character means 0 chance of seeing Teddy again. Happy to see a protagonist who.
Why do we need Teddy back again?
Oh, he said 0.
Good.
I'm like, all right, man, Teddy hate over here. Teddy.
We all don't like Teddy.
I love Teddy.
Why do you love Teddy?
He's
Tell us why
funny.
you love Teddy.
Teddy's funny. He's got puns.
I have to keep him in. I have to have him in moderation.
Exactly.
Not like that.
Yeah.
Not like that 30-hour stream. Like, holy balls, God.
All Kuma, all the time. So yes.
It's not easy when your voice is super annoying. It's just, I don't know.
So yes, Cole was saying he's happy to see the protagonist isn't just some dark potential mix of Digital Devil Saga's combat thrown into Persona. Dungeons may have more variety in the platforming, maybe stealth to get advantage. I really like how the new engine looks. I never played Catherine. Having demons returned instead of shadows gives me much more room for creativity for encounters. My only concern is if social links are gone and how that is affected by fusions. Let's see if they're going to bring back Persona 1 and 2's tarot card system, which would be very interesting. And his thoughts on Persona 4 Dancing All Night. Fart noise. Ed Kirsting says, I'm a fan of Morgana already, and Igor's smug-ass expression was priceless. Honorable mention goes to the menu transition, as dull as that sound. Not dull at all. Super awesome. Luis also says, also the funk. I just wanted to get down and boogie. Alan Ebra says, menu selection looked rad, like the chalk throwing too, and everything involving battles and dungeons. Jacob Stevens also says, Persona 5 has me so much hyped right now. The trailer looked amazing, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. As for Dan, I don't know. I forgot. Justin Casti says, my favorite thing for Persona 5 trailer, aside from the whole thing, was his transformation. For the longest time, we were wondering how we will summon them through the game, and I'm really happy with the mass aspect. My favorite part of Dancing All Night, that box comes with the box for the new Vita inside. But also, the Nanako was debuted. I'm curious how she's going to be put in the story. Also, why she suddenly is dancing when she sees shadows and somehow isn't afraid. It's because she has Big Brother to keep her safe. Drew, who joined us for the live stream, was Persona 5. That song, though, also Igor and Ryuji's shirt, since it says ZOMG all the damn time. Also, Morgana riding in main character's backpack. Dancing All Night was Nanako, Naoto, and the Junes theme. Also, Drew actually brings up a great point that we talked about on the live stream that I forgot to say. Thank God the school outfit is legitimately just a blazer and nice pants. It makes cosplaying it a bajillion times more easy. Let's see. Alan also says, Alan Ibra comes back and says, the Persona 5 trailer theme. I expect to hear more in the game release. Justin also says, I wanted to add, I like how the main character has personality in his actions instead of just being some solemn, boring like the others were. He dances magnificently as well. Not to mention, we've already seen him smile and smirk. Let's see. Norn Soli says, I like how alive the world looks. The classroom is full of students, not just important characters. The train station has a lot of computers. It feels like they are in a big city, not just a strange, empty town. Come on, even a small town would have more than 5 people in a street. Very true. Alex Martyr, everything. Correct answer. And last but not least, some tool named Dylan. Dylan says the amount of personality and emotion you can see and how different the main character is between his day and night lives in this one. He is so much more expressive than the Persona 3 or 4 protagonist, and that is a huge plus. Music is solid too. I love the vibe that I get from this game. Dan, shit yeah. Now Devon and I can cosplay those 2 versions. So yes, thank you guys for your awesome submissions and thought. I enjoyed how everyone wasn't, well, there were a few people who didn't care for Dan. There were still enough people that gave it attention, so thank you very much. And I guess, with that, we can kind of do a quick-ish summary of our experience with the live stream from anyone who was actually there. Melissa, for the parts that you were in the live stream, overall thoughts, because I'd have to say you were probably in the worst part of the live stream.
I don't know. I don't see what everyone's fascination with seeing more trailers that you've already seen before. It's just like, I don't know. They could have had interviews and other things like that other than showing trailers and then making us wait 2 hours for more trailers, you know?
I would say for the first 20... No, that's not true. Maybe the first 15 hours were pretty unbearable. No pun intended. Waffles and Devon, how did you guys feel with how they started it? I feel like even if we knew Japanese, it was yeah. Not the best. Also, somebody just posted probably one of the weirdest things I've ever seen on the Facebook group, I have to say. It is I think a doujin of Persona, but safe for work, but it just shows droplets of white things coming down on Kanji and Yosuke eating their lunch. Yosuke says, "What was that? I thought that was rain." Oh no, this is actually Kanji. "What the hell was that? I thought it was rain. But isn't this like cum?" Yosuke says,
What?
"Wait a minute, cum? And then Kanji says, "Oh, you son of a bitch! Nobody splashes cum onto me. My onigiri's totally ruined now." Forget about your onigiri. Yeah, he's like, wow, that's a lot of cum. That's probably used. I couldn't imagine anyone else having that. And then Chie and Yukiko says, "Oh, if it isn't Hanamura, what's up, having lunch? Kanji-kun, there's something on your face."
Oh my god.
I kind of want to track this down now and read this just for that page. And everyone just having the weirdest reaction picture faces. But yes, describing early amounts of stream, lots of trailers. I can only imagine if you were in Japan being more annoyed than we were because it was for games even older.
Mhm.
I don't know. I guess this would be a good one. Devon, what for you? When did the stream get good?
DJ Hero.
Yeah, there was a moment when after the 12 and a half hour wait, we started it. There was an announcement saying the Phantom was coming to invade, and yeah, then it said, well, now time for 5 more hours of repeats. And we were like, well, we could stream us being bored, or we could just stream Waffles playing Ultimax while we play DJ Hero and SingStar. I think we picked the right one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what about you, Waffles? Out of the overall stream, when did it start getting good for you?
It started getting good for me when it flipped to the concert.
Damn, even later. Wow, I'm surprised. I'm the one who's gonna say this. It got really good for me once the second Persona 3 movie started. I enjoyed watching it.
Oh, that's right.
I don't want to give it a review yet because it was an edited version.
Yeah.
But man, when that movie comes out, I'm gonna have a lot to say about it. Because we saw about an hour of a 90-minute movie. They edited the first and second down into 2 hours for the live stream. I guess, yeah, without really saying too much, rushed is definitely a word to say.
Mhm. Like, the problem I had with it is, yeah, I enjoyed watching it, but literally not even next month I can see the whole thing.
Plus, man, I really hope they do a little bit better job of elaborating and explaining.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was just none done. The most attention to detail, as we had said, obviously a spoiler, but when that certain somebody dies, they nail
The
that.
opening and the ending, that was what was the best thing about it.
Yeah, they fucking nail that ending. I mean, I think Drew was crying. I was fucking damn, that sucks. Although luckily, Waffles, how did it give a tear down your eye?
Yes. I was conveniently off video at that point.
Convenience. And luckily enough, Atlas decided to make it up for us crying on a live stream by having the opening to Dancing All Night. And then it made us wait 12 and a half hours. So I'm surprised you guys didn't pick the second Persona movie video. What the hell do you even call that? The made-for-TV version?
Yeah, edited for TV.
I guess. I mean, even though it wasn't even on fucking TV. But yes, the concert was amazing. The songs they played, I gotta say, Jesus, hearing them play Dance live, I actually like the live version better. The stadium was fucking massive.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Alexis, who writes on the blog, she did a post about that where you can read on smtnetwork.wordpress.com. I was trying to get her on, but obviously with the 15-hour time difference, not everyone can have the sleep schedule like Will. and she's very productive doing things and going to school. But she'll have more coming up. She took a bunch of pictures. She got the poster from Persona 5, the Persona Movie 3 CD, and I think some other stuff. But yes, check out her blog post. It's really, really interesting. I'm planning on having like an overall kind of summary of mine in like an editorial, maybe some video, but definitely some writing on the blog sometime by the end of the weekend. Let's see. I guess, did you guys have a personal highlight song they did from it? Like mine was Dance, but like, what was your guys' favorite song they played?
Either Breakout or Maze of Life.
And what about you, Dev?
I don't really think I'm qualified to answer that. I mean, do you remember what I was doing?
I do remember for the last half of the concert you were sleeping, but you were at least awake for the first part.
I'm just gonna have to cop out and say the very first song.
Yeah, you guys, I guess I wouldn't say missed out, because you fell asleep during the Stalker Club, which was probably the lull of it, since most of us don't speak Japanese. But it was cool seeing them, like, they brought on Lotus Juice, they brought on, like, they brought on a bunch of the merchandise. They debuted the Persona 4 Golden. I guess actually no, it's not Golden. It's Persona the Best Golden 2, which, in case anyone doesn't know, they have like a broken lyrics thing they do on that show. Like, Waffles, do you remember the part where they were like singing the wrong lyrics to the Golden opening?
Yeah.
And like how the dude turning around the chairs, like it's a whole album of stuff like that. It's like a parody album. So funny, but more of an inside joke if you actually watch Stalker Club regularly. So that it was cool to like kind of see a bunch of stuff. The fucking t-shirt was amazing looking. The hoodie was sweet. The towel. God, wait, Waffles. You found somebody posted something in the chat. What did somebody say about the towel again? So I remember you found a great quote somebody said about, I can't wait to like rub like Yu's face on my balls every day.
Something like that. I forget.
Yeah, the chat was definitely interesting. Especially with the amount of licking Rise going on. So yes, with all of that loveliness, but so yeah, once that happened, I then swiftly woke Devon and Dylan up, who were sleeping next to me, when the goodness happened, and oh god, we think we're hyped now. How crazy would it have been if we were there to see it in person? Mm-hmm. Oh my god. I guess really like that's kind of my overall. I was more so pleased than I thought I would be, because like you guys know, I was going in with super hype expectations, and definitely during the middle portion of it, you guys were starting to like waver in terms of, is this even fucking worth it anymore? I mean, yeah. Like Devon and Dylan, you had told me if you guys weren't over at my place and doing the live stream with me, you guys would have turned off long ago.
Oh yeah,
same here.
So I enjoy that. Having the community aspect with it like made it a lot more watchable and fun. And I gotta say, if you were even watching our stream for a little bit, because we consecutively had people watching our stream, so I super am appreciative of it. Like, you guys were there, you were talking to us on Twitter, you were doing all of our stupid hashtags, you were talking to us on the Facebook group, and like bringing up like good conversation points. You guys, like, who watched that stream with us, made it a million times more entertaining. So super big shout outs. Obviously, not everyone was able to be on the show. I had Melissa on the show, obviously. We had Adam on the show. We had Cole on the show. We had Drew on the show. We had Patrick on the show. Basically, anybody who... Robert was on the show. Yeah. Oh, God, Robert's dog. Adorable. I have a great picture I'll have to post with this episode of, it's Robert's dog passed out, and then I took a picture of Devon when you were sleeping. You like were in the exact same when you were sleeping at one point, you were in the exact same position as his dog, so it looks hilarious. So yeah, big thanks to Robert for being on, and Cole. So yeah, it's basically anyone I've ever met personally or was a Patreon person I invited on the show in some way, shape, or form. So that was super, super awesome. I think, God, I'm trying to think of other highlights. That first one when we were just dicking around because of all the trailers, that was interesting. We We're reading back of the box quotes for like an hour. But yeah, that's basically my kind of summary of the live stream. Do you guys have any like memories or like highlights you kind of wanted to share, whether it be from what we did or what was on the show?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Dylan went back last night when we got home, and went through part of the stream. He pointed out my facial expressions on some points, like when he got back and was explaining that he like drove back without his phone and his phone being dead, and like the whole part where he had a knock. And like we were just kind of like debating on whether he was actually there or not.
No, I wasn't debating. You were. Dylan went out to go get a burger before the concert started. His phone died, and so on his way back, he wasn't able to call and like tell us to unlock the door for him. So he's knocking on my little window from my basement where I am, and I'm like, that's him. You should probably go get him. And she's like, I don't know. Like, is his phone dead? Like, why wouldn't he talk? It's like, it's probably the reason he's knocking, so let's like go up and get him. It's like we're in this isn't a neighborhood where someone's gonna be that clever enough to try and sneak into my house. No. That's 9900% him. Waffles, what about you?
Highlights.
You can have a low light as well if you didn't have any highlights.
Low light, highlight was embarrassingly having my fic read, but I volunteered that.
An exclusive for anyone who was on our live stream. Will be posted nowhere else. A vocal rendition by Cole of the awesome Waffles fanfic.
Appearing into my slightly more psychotic days of high school.
Some people say those days have never ended.
Hey now.
It's okay. We all have those days. God, but I guess the last thing we can do on the show then is respond to last week's Evoker. Now, just out of curiosity, we already have the votes all tallied. The Evoker was, what game do you want us to do a book club? I guess more appropriately would be a game club playthrough with all of you guys. We've already done all the votes. The winner has been tallied, but Devon, just out of curiosity, if you could have picked any game to do a game club for, what would it have been?
It'd probably be like a really close tie between DDS and Overclocked.
Okay. Another vote for Overclocked. Yes, Overclocked was the winner by about 5 votes in total. Everyone else, we had about 1 vote for every game, but you guys had a nice amount of different choices. Like, there was SMT4, we had Demi Kids, which I'm 90% sure is you guys trolling. Soul Hackers would have been awesome as well. We had one for the original Shin Megami Tensei, the Raito games, and I think that's about it. But no, you guys had awesome suggestions, so depending on how crazy February is, I'm going to try and plan out how I want to set up the game club. Also, we have to get a copy for Waffles. My plan is to start March and hopefully have a schedule set up before then, so we can be okay, this point in the game for next episode, then this point in the game, and then actually have us all do it. So hopefully that'll happen, because I'm betting by the time February dies down, that'll give us a month. All the Persona news will kind of leak out, and I bet they'll give us a little bit of a break, which will work well, because if we can do it all in a month or 2, the release date for DS2 is looking to be May. So if we can get it done before the release date of the second one, that will be even better. But yeah, so thank you guys all for voting. The Evoker for this week is, if you watched the live stream, whether it be ours or just the official Persona one, what was your overall thoughts on the live stream? Give us a story, give us it sucked, whatever you want. Like, we just want to know what you thought of the live stream, or if you even didn't attend it or didn't watch all of it, like Melissa, let us know why, or like what your overall thoughts from what you heard happened are, just like that. So just be something a little interesting, because like, yes, we could have just do like, what's the hype about Persona 5? It was like, we already did that. I mean, we're going to be talking about Persona 5 for presumably like the next like 6 months, or in all honesty, probably like every episode from now on. But we have many episodes to talk about Persona 5 stuff. I feel like we got enough of it done in this like 2-hour episode or so. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I mean, I guess with that, we can kind of start wrapping up. Thank you for listening to this show. If you would like to follow the show other places, you can find us on iTunes. We are at Shin Megami Tensei Network. You can look us up there, or Persona. We're the #1 podcast that'll pop up. Join our Facebook group. We currently are sitting at 1,763 members as of this recording. Super awesome that we are that close to 2,000 and like barely into the new year. You can find the group by searching Shin Megami Tensei Network, or you can go to www.facebook.com/groups/SMT Network. Along with that, you can find our new blog, which I write for, Jordan writes for, Alexis is writing for, and Keith should have something going up about his SMT collection soon, if not this weekend when you're hearing this. But I mean, along with that, yeah, you find the WordPress there. There is the YouTube page you can find by just searching Shin Megami Tensei Network. It'll pop up. There's a little playlist for past episodes are going up slowly. Present episodes are being there as close to day and date as I can possibly do, and all future episodes will be in a video. But yeah, you can find my channel. It's just Torchwood4SP. It's host to that, as well as all of the live stream. All of the live stream has been archived there. So I might make a supercut, hopefully one day soon, of all of it, but that's about it. You can find the podcast on Twitter. It's at SMT Network. And last but definitely not least, big shout outs to all of our donators on Patreon. Let's see, we got sorry, I'm just actually trying to get to it. Yes, so we have patreon.com, all of our executive producers. Big shout outs to Patrick, who was on the stream, Andre, Anthony, Robert, who was also on the stream, David, Alicia, Adam, Cole, Jonathan, and Jacob, along with Andrew. All of you guys, super appreciate you donating, whether it be $1. If you enjoy the show and would like to support us, you can donate as little as $1. Call yourself an executive producer or something. We have different tiers. Check out all the rewards there. But I mean, along with that, yeah, you can find it at patreon.com/SMTN. I just updated we are currently at 215 a month. But if we can get to 300, we are not only going to be doing monthly giveaways that you will actually care about, but finally going to start doing shirts. We've gotten tons of shirt suggestions before. We've joked about it. I've looked into it enough. It is something that I want to do. I would love to have stupid merchandise that like one person might recognize if you go to a convention, but I don't know. I would want to wear a shirt from this group. I don't know about you guys, but I've gotten enough requests that I think could be something that we should do.
Yeah.
So, be cool. Yeah, and I guess with that, you can find me on Twitter. I'm at Torchwood4SP. And I guess actually, yeah, last thing I want to say, thanks to everybody on Twitter. We got a ton of attention after the trailer because we were posting with the stream and like screenshots. We reached over 300 Twitter followers, so that's super awesome of you guys. But yeah, along with that, I guess, Devon, where can people find you? Because you do like cosplay and stuff, so where can people find you online?
Me and my boyfriend Dylan, we do some cosplay things here and there, you know. We haven't like been we're not professionals at all. Like, I mean, come on, I kind of fuck around and like.
This is a podcast for professionals. Trust me.
But we cosplay things we really like. Unfortunately, we haven't done any anime cosplay so far. We're the game geeks over here. But we can be found on Facebook, DeviantArt, and Instagram, and they're all under the name All Out Attack. If you can't get it by typing in All Out Attack, just add cosplay at the end, because most of the time, like some of the other names on the websites are through that instead. But we live with Spencer, basically.
You live with me?
We might end up. I mean, there's KanakaCon soon. We might as well just move in,
true.
right? So we live in the Midwest. So if you guys are around there, just let us know. I mean, it's nice to meet people that are interested in the same things, and cosplaying helps us kind of get out of our shell to just kind of be like, hey, there's this thing here. You like this thing? Let's talk about that thing that I'm wearing, you know?
Perfect. So yes, thank you guys for living with me, as always.
Yep.
Like some demented sitcom. Melissa, where can people find you online?
You can find me at Fatal Flare on Twitter, Tumblr, and also Instagram. I post a bunch of things.
Are you still doing that
mainly
cosplay thing?
What cosplay thing?
Are you still doing that cosplay thing? Because you have a cosplay page.
Yeah, I do. On Twitter, not Twitter. I mean, Facebook, I have a cosplay page. I need to update it more regularly, but I have a cosplay page. It's Fatal Flare Cosplay. I also have a American Cosplay Paradise page, which I update pretty frequently when I have a new costume and things like that.
All right. And Waffles, what about you?
You can find me at wafflesmccoy.tumblr.com. You can also find my Megaten/video game Twitter at hitowaffles. Or is it Twitter? I don't know. Waffles
it's Twitter.
On Twitter. Yeah.
No cosplay page for. We need you to get like your own cosplay brand. Mine would be a bland. We could have it be like old guy cosplay. But it'll be OG cosplay, so it looks really cool.
OG, and nobody knows what OG means.
That's the point. You got to be in the
Yeah.
know.
That's how I got the old. That's how, because I was in a chat one time with some of my other friends, and so one of them said they were like, Waffles, you're OG. I'm like, what does OG mean, old guy?
That's one of my favorite things about you, Waffles, is that you have the best nickname stories. They never make any sense, but they're always hilarious. But yes. So yes, thank you guys for listening. And I guess with that is the end of the show. So thank you. And the next countdown will begin momentarily for something that will inevitably not be worth it. So goodbye.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Here's another one. making over the lame shit claim they make games over. It's a spell of magic, imagine what happens. Different age, different passion. What I'm asking, I can't call it. If I ain't got my crew on me dancing, gonna touch down, make this die. Keeps me alive, the melody, the flow, the beat, the heart together we rise.
This energy come up in fire now. We could celebrate, just set it free and
Teddy has invaded.
Yuck.
What if there was a game? What if there was like those like Gopher pop-up arcade games, but with Teddy? Would you play it? Like, Fast
God.
Ted?
Hit him in the head.
I'd spend my whole check on it.
I would buy a machine to just have in my house. But the bad thing though is every time he pops up, it's always him just making a different pun.
Mm.
Oh, so that was 2.5 hours of Persona 5 talk. See, that's what people don't know about you. Also, Waffles, did you see the little contest I have going on for a game? Like the second answer was somebody voted you their favorite community person.
What?
Yeah, I made a little post that has Teddy on it. I have a contest going on today for all you have to do to win a copy of Dying Light is say who your favorite community member is and why, and Justin picked you.
Oh my god. Why would they? Okay.
Here, I'll read it. My favorite is Waffles. I think he is so cute. I think he gets flustered all the time and is such a good sport about it. Also, he is a talented artist, and I share his love and respect for show. Smiley emoticon.
Love and respect?
Oh no!
Respect? Are you kidding me? Where does respect come into this at all?
Every middle finger is a middle finger filled with love.
Oh my god, no. No.
Also Alex said Waffles. How many people do we got? Oh, Nick said Waffles. Let's see.
Why do people have poor taste?
In humans?